How you doing? Get on, say hi. So good. I'm opening up my chat so I can say hello to everybody. Instagram, how are you? I feel like dancing. You guys feel like a little dancing? Okay, so I want to have a truth conversation today. We've got Shanda on demand. I do my best to go live Monday through Friday. However, we have a lot of events going on, and with the events, sometimes it changes the circulation of our Shanda on demand. So all that to be said, I'm here today. And you guys, this whole month right now, we're focusing on how do you create more consistent revenue in your life and your business. However, today is specifically about closing loops. Why am I talking about closing loops? I'll tell you why. I have got 5. I've got 5 pieces of paper over there. Do you know what 5 pieces of paper do to your mind? What do 5 different pieces of paper with to-do lists do to your mind? Anybody know? Hi, Donna. Hi, Donnie. Hi, John. Hi, Kathy. Woo-hoo! Okay, so here's what 5 pieces of paper. I'm going to grab them for you. Look at this. Okay, look at this. Hold on. I love that I can just do this, all this fun stuff. So, okay. So this is Shanda on Demand for June. Anybody else look like this when you're creating content? So this is Shanda on Demand for June. We're going to have a whole theme around not resenting your life because of your career, your drive, your job, all that fun stuff. So the theme will be freedom. Who loves themselves a little freedom, right? So this needs to move on to a project management built out. We are doing a 2-week challenge in May. Guys, I'm so excited about this. It's literally going to be all around all of us raising our standards. Who knows that you need to raise your standards a little bit, right? And if you guys, if you're on Facebook, can you do me a favor and hit the share button? Let's drive some numbers up and get some more entrepreneurs on here so we can help more people today, okay? So this is in the month of May. We are going to really focus on how do we raise our standards. So how do you raise your standards in your relationships? How do you raise your standards in your career? How do you raise your standards financially? You know, there's so many people who are making, they're focused on making money, but they're operating from poverty mindsets, right? How do you unhook from that? And I'll tell you, I need to add this up. I actually need to sit back and add up how much money I've spent. Way more money on my education through masterminds and mentors than paying foreign national, because I'm from Canada and I went to school in Las Vegas and I paid foreign national tuition because I was Canadian. And I've spent way more on my education in entrepreneurship than I ever did in school. And I've gotten way more out of it because of the fact that everything or most of it has been focused on tangible results. And so I share all of that with you because for next month, when you look at when things are failing, I mean, how many of you guys are working on something right now that's not really coming together or it's not coming together fast enough? Put me in the comment section. It's not coming together fast enough, right? Put me in the comment section, right? How the school looks like in Vegas. School looks crazy in Vegas, Daniel. And so like, how do you flip those hard moments around? Has everything to do with your thinking patterns. And what most people do is, I shouldn't say most people, what people that are not actually getting ahead do or live in fear of self-doubt is they operate on realistic goals. And when they operate on realistic goals, they have realistic thinking and there's no growth in that. And so you have to do everything that everybody's afraid of you doing. Everybody disagrees with you on the decisions you're making. I cannot emphasize this enough. It takes real courage to be on the front lines of entrepreneurship and getting ahead because everything breaks constantly. It's in the break that you shine. It's in the break that you shine. I can tell you more about someone that I'm doing life with or doing business with or somebody that works in our team or works in your team or in your life. I can tell you who's going to win and who's not. It's how they deal with adversity. And how they deal with adversity you know what I mean? How they deal with challenges will tell me if they're going to make it. Because if they go back into realistic thinking, then what happens is that then the next thought is they start pulling back and then they go right back into their box. And so if you have a real desire to grow this year, put the word grow in the comment section. If you have a real desire to grow this year, put the word grow in the comment section. I don't know about you, but I feel this insane sense of urgency to show up on a level that I've never showed up for before. That means showing up for a level for you that I have never showed up for. How do I create even better content? Who loves our content on Shanda On Demand? Write something about it. Like, do you love Shanda On Demand? Like, we spent a whole month last June focusing on how to create $1 million year, $1 million month, $1 million quarter, $1 million day if you want, or $1 million weekend, right? Like, we have been spending time really looking at how do we create content that actually moves the dial in your life, that doesn't just waste your time. I'm so tired of the scroll. Are you guys tired of the scroll? Right? And so, like, even when I'm talking right now, one of the things that's really important is that as you are consistently giving, how do you build a team around you to help close loops? So if Jordan on our team or Sarah on our team are watching right now, what great pieces of content for sending out, let's call it a replay of Shanda On Demand right now, and say, stop scrolling and wasting your time on social media with content that doesn't make you feel good, with content that makes you think you should be skinnier or you should be in a more romantic relationship than you are. Like, I'm dead serious. There is so much content out there that just wastes our time. Am I right or am I right? Yes or no? Right? So what do you love about Shanda On Demand? What stands out to you about Shanda On Demand? I hope that there is tangible results. And so when I get the messages inside of our inboxes of people who turned around, they pivoted and turned something that wasn't working into success, now I know we're making an impact, because it's what you do when everything looks impossible, when the prices of the homes are too high and everybody tells you they're too high, but then you meet somebody like Pace Morby or Jamil who are buying property at like ridiculous discounts. When I was in real estate, the last recession was in a real estate, or the bombing of the real estate market, and everybody, including my broker, said it'll never happen, and then Bear Stearns goes down. Right? And then you have, $10 million homes coming down, but yet they all say the coast of California never went down. That's bullshit. It absolutely did. I watched my house go from just now, like in the last less than a year, a $7 million cash offer to two people who are willing to spend $7 million on our property per the real estate agent we were talking to, down to literally 4 months later telling me the market changed. The same agent, luxury agent, who's, by the way, a baller, that told me that the coast never changes. Now I looked this morning and properties just like mine, one street over with the most beautiful views, are listing at 4.5. I don't know. Last time I checked, that's $2.5 million less in less than a year. It's a lot of cash. How many guys would like to just give me $2.5 million in less than a year and just deposit it in my account? Or how many guys would like to lose that type of cash? So here's my point. You got to stop listening to what all the logical people are saying if you're going to be a leader. And you got to look in your life. You got to look at where are the areas that you have open loops. And this is going to be the context of Shanda On Demand today. This whole month, I want you to focus on how do you increase your revenue. And the way that you increase your revenue is to look at the areas you have open loops in. So let me give you 2 hacks right now. You guys want 2 hacks on how to manage your mind? Because open loops are a result of a chaotic mind. Open loops are a result of lack of decision. Open loops are a result of fear. And those are all human moments. Like, I'm not standing here saying that you should never experience that. I will tell you, when I've got more than one target up on the wall, and yes, I still put it up on the wall. When I got more than one target up on the wall, I start to spin because my head goes into open loops. And so here's how you manage your mind. Everybody put the word manage your mind in the comment section. Manage your mind, manage your mind. You manage your mind and you got power over every decision in front of you. You manage your mind. There is no destruction that can take you down. There's none, because you're stable. You guys got stable people in your life? It's amazing, right? Stable people are epic. You trust them. You know they're like cats. They're going to end up on their feet, right? I'm like a cat. You need to be like a cat. I'm sure there's some cats here. Who has some cats here? You always end up on your feet. Put the word cat, right? I know we sound very weird now. Okay, so here's the hacks that I use. I literally, when I am finding that I'm going into realistic thinking, then I 100% know that I don't have space for creativity. And creativity is where you problem solution everything. Have you ever heard of people say that they bought a boat? My stepdad did this. He bought a boat. Everybody told him realistic thinking. You shouldn't buy a boat. You don't have the type of money to buy a boat. He did more business on his boat than any other investment he's ever made in his entire life. Okay. I was just listening to an audio book around successful people. Now, I don't want to just make a lot of money. I want to tithe a lot of money to the church. I want to build a team that is a world-class team at Hardcore Business. I want to raise a son that is hopefully a leader or an entrepreneur at a very, very young age. There's new entrepreneurs coming on the market right now because the job market is changing drastically, right? And I want to really be able to give back on a substantial level. What are your goals, right? None of that is realistic thinking. Okay, none of that is realistic thinking. So I start to write out where are the decisions that are starting to stress me out. So write this down. As soon as you come up with any sort of logical thinking, just do this. It's super simple. I know it's wild, but I'll get up at 3:30 in the morning, and this is what I do. This is what I do. I write out where are the decisions that are stressing me out. Where are they for you? You guys go in the comment section. Where are the decisions that are stressing you out right now? Hi, Instagram. Nice to see you, Nancy. Where are the decisions that are stressing you out right now? Go in the comment section. I can't help you if I don't get any responses, right? So manage mine. So good. Okay, so it might be things like, okay, so you've got to make a decision on the name of a book that you're writing. You are maybe making a decision on a life career or a life relationship right now, right? Where are the areas that you're stressed out around a decision? Is it moving? Is it staying? Is it your parents? Is it your spouse? Is it your business? What is that? Write out the 2 or 3 things that are starting to stress you out. And then you got to close the loops, because there's either you've got so many things on your to-do list that you're just, right? So Define said, time to do things. I don't have time to do things, right? You have to have time to do things. So I write a list of all the things that are stressing me out, on decisions that I'm stressing me out. And then I write a list of all the to-do things that I need to get done. And all I do is prioritize them. And I go P1 for priority 1, P2 for priority 2, P3 for priority 3. Why is that important? The P2s and P3s do not get on my to-do list at all. Even though they're important, even though it's critically important for me to deal with those, I don't focus on them. I focus on one step at a time, and I clear that step. Now, what happens with that? Speed. Right? So if I look at my P1s, I can knock out my P1s, and so can you, very, very quickly. What most people like to do is knock out the things that feel most comfortable. So the second thing is, on managing my mind, is you've got to have priority focus time. And so when I don't have priority focus time, I'm a mess. So write this down: 30 minutes, 1 hour, or 90 minutes. What's your commitment? Go in the comment section, let us know. If you what's the point in showing up to Shanda on Demand? You might as well go back to just scrolling and feeling bad about your life because everybody has a better life than you on Instagram, right? Like, if you're going to be on Shanda on Demand, actually take the coaching. And so my request is, I want to see if you can do priority focus time for even just a week. This week, it's Monday when I'm recording this. Maybe you watch this on Friday, then set it up for the next week. But go 7 days. Go 7 days and make a decision. Are you going to do 30 minutes, 1 hour, or 90 minutes of priority focus time? So the people on Facebook are knocking it out right now. They're telling me, right? What do you guys do? Okay, yes, Instagram. Okay, so I got our first person on Instagram is like, I'm going to do 90 minutes, right? So what are you doing? Crystal's doing 30 minutes. Timothy's doing 30 minutes. Heather's going to do 1 hour. Victoria's going to do 30 minutes. Okay, here's what I'm going to recommend you do. Go put that in your calendar now, right? Go pop it into your calendar absolutely right now. And make sure that it's scheduled in your calendar for the rest of the week. And then in that priority focus time, designate your priority ones that you're going to focus on. right? So some of you guys have heard me say this before in the past. I'm telling you, my whole life goes to shit in a handbag when I don't do that. It's such a mess. Now, the last thing I'm going to say to you before I close down this live today is that look for flex time. So my friend Allison Maslin told me for years she couldn't do flex time. Finally, she started doing flex time where she takes off 1 week a month, and she has been scaling companies. She teaches scaling companies. And so her and her husband, I loved how they did flex time. Almost every month they went somewhere, right? And that was the coaching I gave her. They went to Mexico a lot. They ended up buying a house in Mexico. It's ending up being a huge part of what makes them happy and joyful in their life, that they would have missed it. Like, I don't know about you, but as I get older, I start to realize how critically important it is to not miss life, right? All of next month, I'm going to do a 2-week challenge. And that 2-week challenge is going to show you how to rise up and raise your standards, right? To rise up and raise your standards. The reason why I'm going to do that is I think in 14 days of concentrated time, I can show you how to develop your leadership in a way that you don't miss out on your life. It took me 2 years to really speak into Allison before she took flex time. And now they have this beautiful house in Mexico. And it would never have been on her radar if she didn't take flex time. They never would have known that they would have loved Mexico at that level. And now I would say that they're living a 10 out of 10 life. And then what happens when you do that is you make more money, because there's a different level of credibility when you do that. Everybody thinks that retirement is the time when you start living a life. It's opposite. If you want to be super, super empowered financially, I'm telling you, you've got to carve out some of these epic moments, whatever that is for you, and put it on your calendar. Now, for all you guys who say I don't have time for that, can I tell you that last year was the first time since I started flex time, that I didn't take a week off a month. And it's taken almost a year to get myself back into the saddle of being in integrity with this. And do you know that last year was the first year that I went backwards financially? Now I'm getting back on top of it now, and it's great. Thank God I made good decisions in my life and put money away and invested money, which right now in a recession is one of the best times to do that. But we went backwards. Now, we're still an 8-figure company. We're still doing great compared to what, like, I never thought I'd be here, right? But it was wild to see that the small little structures, and how many of you guys would like me to build this out this week, about where the small little structures that I focused on that really put the foundation and the stability underneath my thinking, my emotions, and my ability to make decisions, because money loves speed, which means if you want to make money, you must make fast decisions. And if you want to sit in the weeds or sit in spreadsheets or sit in the logic, I'm telling you, I just don't know one person in my life, even the way, way smart Bill Gates style people in my life, that ever spend time looking at the logic. Nobody does. Nobody does. Not Jesse Itzler, not Sarah Blakely, not any of these people. When I talk to them, they talk about vision and where they're going. And what they do is they bullishly go after it, right? When Sarah created the leggings of Spanx, she was told that the leggings may not sell. I'm kind of paraphrasing it, right? And she said, I'm going to ignore what everybody says, and I'm going on Home Shopping Network, and she sold out. Right? So everybody's afraid to make the investment or the decision before the success. And the truth is, you got to make the decision and the success will follow. Success follows leadership. It does not follow logic. Logic is not in the game plan of leadership. When everybody says, shut down your business or take a break at Christmas, we have unloaded some of our biggest events ever in the month of December. Why? Because most of the competition goes to sleep. They take it off. Now, I take off a lot of December, but not before I hit it hard in the first week or two, right? And so I share this with you because when everybody says Memorial Day is coming up, you should all take it off. I think you should sell. I think you should live a life that the holidays aren't like these staples on the calendar to just take it off. Because you know what? If you really want to make a lot of money, guess who's off? Your competition. So if you're in healthcare, you're in the relationship industry, you're in the network marketing industry, you should 100% be looking at strategies where you've got Memorial Day and all these Black Fridays and all these things where people take off and go party, 4th of July, those are all opportunities to run sales even the week before. Hit things hard before holidays and stop backing down to logic. So that's my Shanda on Demand today. I'm going to summarize it by saying this. Look for your flex time in your calendar. That's a non-negotiable. I like a week off a month, and it's not because I'm just flittering around the world and just living my best life, which is also great, but it's also because it gives me perspective. If I don't take a week off a month, I get bottlenecked. I can't think. I don't have enough space to think. And then I get irritated, I get agitated. It's like drinking 10 cups of coffee and being too high on caffeine, right? That's what happens to me. What happens to you? When I get too high on caffeine, which is I don't have any flex time, then what happens is my thoughts start spinning on top of each other. I've managed to grow 2 companies and have had a great life in the process. I would love, my biggest dream right now is to grow $1 billion business and still take off at least 5 days a month, where straight 5 days a month, where I don't resent my business, my life, or any of that. By the way, I also take off weekends. It's very rare I ever work on a weekend. So when you add up the last week of the month and the weekends, that's 5.5 months a year. The question is how well am I using that time to live a better life, to think about the business, to dream bigger, to play bigger, to think about bigger strategies, to love up on my son, to create a quality moment or write a letter to my husband. I have a next level of what does that look like to use it even better. What's your next level? Because I'm telling you, before we know it, we're going to be in the summer. And after the summer, Christmas is coming. How many of you guys would love me to do Christmas in July and do a whole month of Christmas in July? Like bring up the urgency in the month of July. What's happening right now? When you've got some space or you're meeting on different topics of giving, you start to get creative. And as you start to get creative and you talk to the people that you love and respect around you, and you've got a point, which is giving on your challenges, giving on your Shanda on Demand versions, your content, giving, helping create tangible results in the world. What happens is you start to create epic content for the people that you care about in life. And if you start to do that, you don't have an engagement problem. You don't have a sales volume problem. You don't have a connection problem. So here's what I'm going to do. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about connection. And connection is currency. And as I talk about connection is currency tomorrow, I'm going to show you the areas that may be breaking in your business or even in your life. I'm going to tell you there's a breaking connection. And that breaking connection means that there's a breaking currency. And I'll leave that to tomorrow on Shanda on Demand. All right, you guys, flex time. What are the decisions that are stressing you out right now? Write them down. What is everything on your to-do list? Do P1 for priority 1, priority 2, priority 3. Put that next to your list of the decisions you need to make. Are all those decisions that are stressing you out are all P1s. You need to have a conversation, have the hard conversation, or make a decision on it. But the P1s that are stressing you out, deal with them within the next 48 hours. Because with that weighing on your head, I'm telling you, you just will never give your best. And last time I checked, to be a great entrepreneur, you just got to bring your best. All right, you guys, so much love to you. Thank you for being on Shanda on Demand. I will see you tomorrow when we talk about breaks and connections.